Hey, kids! It's time for another exciting episode of KWJUDAS.
Ceases on a war, feel like we just can't take anymore. Hiding all the pressure and the pain, still we stand to gain. Fear in the past that calls our name. With the wheel in line, just as sharp as a knife. We hope we don't disappoint. Don't be your fallen hero. Put me to the test, I'll try my best. We're in control of our lives, even if it's wrong or right. Let the heart burn like fire, let the strength fill our soul. Like a motivation, like gold. Looking forward to the future, forget the mistakes of the past. Just it's time to begin. Try to survive, never to give in. Don't be your fallen hero. Put me to the test, I'll try my best. We're in control of our lives, even if it's wrong or right. Even if it's wrong or right.
Memories never die here on KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. Folks, you best recognize. I've been hanging out with these guys for the last little bit, and we have already talked about so much fun stuff. We should have just recorded everything we did before the show, and then we wouldn't have to be recording now. We'd already be fucking done.
Well, we do have a motto. You know, we want to keep the memories endless, so that's what we're trying to do right now.
For they shall never die. So when you guys first got here, you were talking about how almost this whole lineup isn't the same lineup as on these recordings. And pretty much everybody in this room is pretty new.
Exactly. So, like I said, you know, the past is the past. We kind of want to stay that. There was just some issues, a lot of miscommunication, things like that. And, you know, sometimes things work out and some things don't. But, you know, they wanted to do a different project. I wish them well. And we got these awesome, talented individuals. So it's a win-win for, you know, both parties.
Oh, yeah. So you're the singer, correct?
I am.
And you're the only standing member.
I'm the original, yes.
So did you you recorded all this with a whole different lineup, and then what happened? So did you pick up all these new guys all at once? I mean, it just kind of seems remarkable that that's a hard thing to do. You realize, I'm sure all you guys realize, to just lose your whole goddamn band and then come up with a whole new band.
Well, the cool thing is Brian, tried out for us a couple years back, and when I was telling him everything, because we're really good friends. I try to stay really on good terms with everybody mostly.
I left originally due to an issue with a different member of the group.
So you had already been in this band
Yes.
before?
I was in this group about 4 years ago. And
I
when
did not know
Jason
that.
reached out to me when everyone else quit, he was thinking of calling it then. And
Right.
I thought the album was great. There were things that I do think could be better. And I knew Dylan from a project that we were going to work together on, but that band fell apart faster than I've ever seen
Right.
due to vocalist issues.
And so you are guitarist, and Dylan here, your guitar as well?
I'm rhythm, he is lead.
Okay. And then we got our bass player here. How long have you been in the band?
About a month, pretty much exactly to the day.
Wow. And you have been back since...
For about a month or two.
And you about the same?
Yeah, about 2 months.
That's pretty impressive, guys, I must say. Are you guys playing shows already?
We need a drummer for that first.
Yeah. You still got that last component.
Right now, we just need that last person, which we will definitely try out. And then right now we're just trying to make the album better. That's what we're trying to do.
So you're still working on these recordings that we're listening to tonight?
Correct.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of tweaking on a couple of the tracks, just trying to get them more close to where we want them, or what we think will sound good. So
Yeah,
So-
we want to do like a re-recorded version of the Memories of the Fallen.
For sure. For sure. So have these tracks yet to be released anywhere?
They are on Spotify, so people can listen to them.
On YouTube as well.
And YouTube
Word.
and stuff like that. So
the old tracks, not anything new so far.
None of the new improved stuff
Yep.
that you've done.
Once we
so far.
re-release the new album, we'll probably pull that one that's currently up.
Yep.
And
Right.
maybe have physical copies for people that actually really want it. But we want to represent what Memories Never Die is now.
I get ya. You should still do physical copies, I think. I know that a lot of people think that it's a dying trend, and it is, for sure. But if you are playing live gigs and you don't have merch, you don't sell merch. Fucking period. If you have merch, you will sell merch, I promise. We just did a CD release party last year, and everyone's like, nobody does CDs anymore. And we didn't have that many physical copies available, but we sold almost all of them. So that goes to show people will still buy your stuff. I'll even have people say, look, I just liked your music enough. I don't even have a working CD player, but I want to support you. I want to give you money, and I guess I'll take a CD in exchange.
Last time I played a gig, like the headliner was so good, and I bought both of their albums because they just blew me away at their show.
On vinyl, on CD?
It was on CD.
Word. And people still do cassette tapes, too, believe it or not.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
those are coming back.
Yeah, that's
They are. I don't think
actually
they ever fully went away.
Well, I mean, your merch is your bread and butter. A lot of people don't realize that being in a
Yeah.
band, you have to have merch. You have to get yourself out there, and that's, you'll see a lot of bands that they don't have a lot of music, but they know how to carry that merch, and
Word.
that's what their bread and butter is.
Well, that's what local music's all about, right? Like the whole local scene is just a bunch of people supporting each other until somebody ends up making it, right? Like that's the goal.
We're actually pretty excited for a merch item that we're going to be pushing through. We're going to be making merch packs for when we do shows. So we're going to buy like drawstring backpacks, cups, hats, T-shirts, and put them all together and sell them for about $50 a piece. That
And
way
the
people,
backpack's going to have your logo on it?
That's correct. Everything.
Yeah.
Memories Never Die backpacks!
Someone's excited.
Let's have another song. My fucking brain just exploded. Memories Never Die. Here, KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for being with us tonight.
I'm alive. Welcome. People not the same as you. There are things that set us apart, that'll make you fall in love, and looking for that brand new start. People not the same as you. There are things that set us apart, and I know that'll make you fall in love, and looking for that brand new start. People not the same as you. There are things that set us apart, and I know that'll make you fall in love, and looking for that brand new start. Brand new start. Brand new start.
Man, that dude is one peyoted mofo. Here on KWJUDAS. Now, I'm just stoked we finally get a heavy band in here. I mean, I love every guest that we have had so far. We're about more than halfway through the season 7 of KWJUDAS, and I actually had somebody ask, how come you haven't had any metal bands yet? And I'm like, oh, we will. We fucking will. It's about to start getting heavy in this mofo.
No, I definitely noticed that, and congratulations, by the way. Your series is definitely take off for what I've seen. You know, I'm a big fan too. So
I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'm glad to have you guys here, because I feel like although our local metal scene has never died, and nor shall it,
you can't kill the metal.
you guys don't know what it's like down here in Utah County, in Little Gumption City, Utah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, because there's no metal down here, man.
It's just a whole lot of indie. Like, I was in an indie band before I joined Memories Never Die, and we used to come down here all the time. Like,
Velour?
yeah, we played the Velour, we played
Yeah.
the Hut even. We played both of those, like, a ton of times.
Right.
And, you know, in Orem, we played the Boardwalk as well.
And
Yeah.
up north, you
Boardwalk
just got
is
the,
a really awesome place.
But, yeah,
we
I
did
heard
a show
about
with
them.
State of Decay, and it was a really good show. All of the bands did an awesome job. I mean, it was a really awesome place. I gotta tell you a story about that, by the way.
All right, let's hear it.
So, we were doing our set and everything, and you know, we did a warm-up song, and the fan was such a big Killswitch Engage fan. So he's like, as we're switching out our gear, he's like, "You guys have like one more time to do like one more song." And so we did End of Heartache, and that guy was just blown away. He was like, "Man, it was like Howie had a son, and you are it." And I was like, "No, you know, it's always good to, you know, that's why me personally, the reason why I do music is because of people, you know, meeting people and getting their reaction and, you know, making them feel happy and, you know, and things like that. That's why I love music.
That's
why
what
I do the
metal's
things I
for.
do. Exactly.
Making people happy.
Because we're all grouchy sons of bitches, right?
The people that don't listen to metal just don't get that it is that sort of expression of emotion and that expression of music and creativity that does make you happy, even though it sounds angry. Sure it is, but it's getting it out, and also listening to other people that's like, man, it's good to know I'm not the only person that's frustrated about things right now.
There
You
was
know?
actually
Yeah.
a study done a few years ago where they interviewed people that listen to different music, and metal fans, they had lower rates of cancer and heart attacks and other issues similar to that than people that listen to more conventional music like pop and country.
How the fuck is that
that's
possible?
something people
It's
don't
'cause-
really realize.
It's because you mosh it out.
I want to see that data. That doesn't sound.
Yeah,
Well, and
but
the
for
cool
me,
thing
music
about
is always, supposed to be fun. Like, I'm supposed to enjoy listening to it. Like, even the heavy stuff, the metal, the heavy rock, it's all supposed to be fun and enjoyable. You're supposed to enjoy yourself listening to it. It shouldn't feel like work. Or
no, I agree with that.
It's supposed to
Right.
be fun.
Well, and that's what we did with Memories of the Fallen is, we wanted to tell a story. It didn't matter how you felt. Like, with Fallen Hero, you have, life coming at you like, a whole army, stress, all the things that you feel in a daily life. And, you are a fallen hero and you can conquer that with the energy that's in yourself. And then, with Can't Live in Fear that we just listened to, is mostly don't stereotype people. Take a chance and get out of your comfort zone and date different types of people and stop living in fear because something, can magical because opposites do attract.
Right.
And some people are like, no, I'm going to stick to my stereotype, and that's what that song is all about. But if you listen to this album, it definitely tells, a story, and that's, Memories of the Fallen. When I came up with that name, a lot of people leave your life. A lot of people are not meant to, take certain steps with you. And that's why we named it Memories of the Fallen, because, you still have those good memories of those people that you knew, but people can change any time.
Right.
And that's, the moral of that.
I think that it could be agreed with pretty much just about any heavy band or heavy song, even if the content or themes might seem negative. It's not about embracing that negativity as a lot of outside viewers may seem to think. It's more about confronting it. It's about, instead of ignoring those sort of problems, whether it's about like relationship problems or political problems or medical problems, metal confronts just about every negative thing you can go through in life. There's a metal song about it. I have necrosis of the hip. There are fucking bands named after that. Fucking Necrosis, they're a great band.
There's also a Necropsy in Ogden. They're a bunch of awesome guys as well.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's not like we're trying to embrace fucking Necrosis. Necrosis sucks. It's more like we're confronting it. We're bringing it out in the open where we can discuss it and actually say, okay, this is a real problem that people have to deal with, and just being able to confront those sort of things and talk about those sort of things and knowing that other people are facing those same sorts of problems is more or less confronting it rather than embracing it and dwelling on it.
Exactly.
So, that's my message to people who don't get the heavy metal. If you do not get the metal, then you do not wish to confront the evils.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, my parents, I grew up LDS, and they're very traditional. Before we actually came in here, they listened to the album last night when I made the Facebook announcement that we would be here, and they confronted me about the music that we write. And
Have they never heard it before?
No.
Really?
No.
And you were in this band like 4 years ago? They never listened to it or anything?
Nope.
Huh.
They hate anything metal. I actually got recommended by my father to go talk to the bishop when I was a teenager because I was listening to Motley Crue and Bon Jovi. How that's evil, I'll never know.
I mean, I scared my
Yeah,
parents
people
with
are really
ICP
afraid
and
of Bon Jovi of all
Pantera.
bands.
Right?
Like, Bon Jovi isn't scary. I saw them when I was 8.
That's the stuff that your parents should be wanting you to listen to.
That's the weird thing. My parents listen to, like, Nicki Minaj and Kesha. It's weird as hell.
No.
That is
more
less
like
bad
more
for
like
you
the
than living on a
Makes you
prayer.
wonder how the hell I'm here.
No, it's more like the Misfits and now Doyle and, pretty much all those bands. It's like, what the heck? I mean, come on now.
But yeah, I feel like, back to what I was saying, they hated the music because even though they have these problems, because my parents do have some mental things that they have to take medication for, mostly depression, but I feel like if they just confronted the issue and got it out of their system, it would help. Like, I also have depression, but I'm more regulated because of the way that I get it out.
Or if Nicki Minaj would maybe make some more brutal fucking metal shit. Huh?
No, just anything good.
And maybe open up some parents' eyes out there. That one. That's my message to the Nicki Minaj's out there. We need your fucking help. Let's have another song, shall we? That's what we do when we don't know how to fucking follow up this conversation. I don't know what to say after suggesting Nicki Minaj make a fucking brutal death metal album.
I mean,
how do you follow that up?
If we want to like continue this further, I mean, Lady Gaga, the closest to it was touching, doing singing with Metallica.
You guys are forgetting about Miley Cyrus with her covers that she did of Metallica earlier.
Oh, man. And I bet everyone's parents loved it.
I can just turn this off.
Well, they're definitely looking at her now, as she claimed, on stage. So,
All right. The name of this next song we have here,
Leaving You Behind,
is Leaving Me Behind. Why? What did I do?
No, we're taking you with us. Come on, let's go.
All right, cool. Where are we going?
Taking you on a journey.
Oh, don't we need a drummer first? I can do pig squeals in the background.
Can you play a triangle?
Yes. I got the cowbell, I got the triangle, I got the tambourines. I'm in the fucking band. All right, guys, I'm in a new band now. Check us out at memoriesneverdie.com, plus Judas. Thank you all for being with us tonight. Free Radio Provo.
Actually a really awesome song to do. when I was recording it, I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I had all these thoughts in my head. And then listening to the music, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to feel it. So it was actually a really fun song to do.
It was one that I really liked when I was being approached for my audition and practicing every song on the album.
So what that song's about?
Well, Leaving You Behind is kind of like a situation where, someone does you wrong, because a lot of people don't like conflict. Usually people will avoid it altogether.
Oh, yeah, at all costs.
Yep. Just like the saying goes, people are not going to, they stop talking to you because they technically owe you an apology. And, I mean, it's really true.
Kind of sad how, something that easy seems to be so difficult for so many people.
Exactly. And so Leaving You Behind is pretty much saying, I'm learning stuff from you. I'm taking what I've learned, even if it's a bad influence or a positive, I'm taking that and leaving you behind and doing me. And so that's pretty much what that song's all about.
This one's actually one of my favorites. When I first started with the band again a couple months ago, I was working at a nursing home, and I was really excited that I got back in, and I was talking with one of my residents, and she was this little 83-year-old woman in a wheelchair, and she insisted on listening to the music, and
hell yeah.
Ryan,
she's sitting there in her chair while the song is going, and she looks at me and goes, "This shit is hard as heck."
Oh, I want this lady on the show.
She was a
come in for a recording so we can get clips of her.
She was a riot. She would make fun of me all the time.
What a badass. What's her name?
Her name was Ann Wilder.
Of course,
All right.
It's Ann.
We're dedicating this whole episode to Ann Wilder. This one's for you. Whether you're still alive or dead, I don't know. Sorry,
she's too full of piss and vinegar to die.
That will be what keeps Guar alive. That will be what keeps Keith Richards alive. That'll be what keeps all those guys. It's not the drugs. We were talking about earlier how, when there's a nuclear apocalypse, we'll have cockroaches and, those select few rock stars.
Technically, we are scumdogs, and we will always be scumdogs. Poor life to Guar.
It's the piss and vinegar, folks. It's not the drugs. It's the piss and vinegar. Because it's true. You notice how it's always the brightest lights that fade out the fastest, Like people that die too soon are always the people everybody loved the most. No one ever has anything bad to say at their funeral. I guess you don't really say bad things at funerals anyway.
I'd hope
But
not.
it's never the people you hate. That's all I'm saying. When's the last time someone you loved died versus the last time someone you hate died? No, the people you hate, they stick around the longest. Nice guys do not finish last. I'm sorry, they don't.
I agree with you there.
The bigger a pain in everyone else's ass you are, the longer you're going to stick around. The longer you stay a thorn in the fucking human beings around you's craw, the more that ensures that you're going to live a long, shitty life.
So as long as we keep Brian in the band, he'll never die.
There you go.
We're definitely going to have to try to keep his memories endless, for sure. But one thing that I wanted to share is an experience. Me and my friends were actually at Lagoon, I think, on a Sunday. And my friend surprised me with her embrace. Sadly, we're not going to hear that tonight, but I was...
That's the name of the song?
Yeah, it's called Her Embrace.
I see.
But yeah, I was just by myself, chilling on a ride, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that song. And then when it got to the chorus, I'm like, I know that guy. Holy crap, it's me. And my friend's like, I love you, man. This is my favorite song. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Lagoon. I mean, thanks, Chad, for, playing that song. And he's like, I love you, man. And I'm just like.
So this is playing over the intercom at Lagoon?
Yeah, just on the ride.
Which ride?
What ride? Yeah.
On the it's called the musical.
Oh, the Music
Oh,
Express.
do you mean the one
whatever.
next to the Colossus?
Oh, word.
Yeah. And so I was just like, wow. And he's like, awesome.
That's cool. I need a friend that works at
My
Lagoon.
dad's done that to me before. He's picked me out of the car, and he's got my talent show performance of me on bass playing "Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun" by Pink Floyd. and it's just me. I have my bass wah, and I'm doing crazy.
You gotta love
things with
parents.
it.
They always embarrass you at the worst time.
And I was like,
Just
oh
kidding.
man, I can't believe it really sounded like that. Oh.
So
I don't know. My parents probably wish that I would have stayed with my original childhood dream as a paleontologist. But then I saw Jurassic Park, and I see what happens to paleontologists. I'm like, I'm gonna go be in a band. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna be a fucking rock star.
John Hammond. Yeah, you're trying to be God, but when you ride the Pirates of the Caribbean, they're not trying to kill your guests. Everyone is alive. I'm just kidding.
I think before I was a musician, which was when I was 13, I wanted to be a game developer, and before that, it was an animator.
And then you saw Jurassic Park.
The same story.
No.
Oh my god.
Same thing.
No,
I
actually,
I wanted to
don't
be a
do this
mechanic in the
anymore.
same thing.
Yeah.
See what happens to animators.
I actually got into music because of my teacher. We would do a music unit like right at the end of homerooms where he would bring in all his folk instruments, and one of those was a washtub bass that I really
Nice.
gravitated towards. And honestly, that wasn't even the beginning of me wanting to play bass. That was just the first opportunity I got to, because I was really into Guns N' Roses at the time, and Duff McKagan was someone I really idolized, and I was like, man, he makes me want to play bass.
Word.
I
That was Les
ironically-
Claypool for me. I'm a bass player too.
Ah, nice.
That's really cool.
Yep, I get made fun of by everyone and get told to sit in a corner, and
No one puts baby in the corner.
everybody makes me carry all the gear.
I'm
Doesn't
actually
want to help.
I like to think that my stage presence is something I'm really proud of. I like to hype up a crowd.
You
Yeah,
think
when
that?
we're practicing, he'll just like run around the room, get in our faces, and just like dance around. It's a lot. It's very entertaining to watch, actually.
It
That's
is.
also
Sometimes a little distracting.
tends to be the bass player's job.
well, it's cool because right now, it's like we feed off each other's energy. When we're having a bad day, we come to practice. Everyone's just in a good mood, and we're like, okay, leave your bad self at the door, and then deal with it later. And it's just awesome because Jay will do that. He'll bounce around, he'll get into the song, and we're like, man, I want to have what he's having because I don't have any energy or nothing. Feed me that energy.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, it's just amazing. These guys are pretty awesome. So
Yeah, you get a younger guy in the band, it starts making you jealous. Like,
I
I
know,
remember when
like-
I used to jump around like that in shows. My
Oh,
ankles don't work that way anymore.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's me in the corner like this motherfucker.
No, I'm more like, where's his energy coming from? Because I want it.
Right.
It honestly helps out a lot because I work about 14 hours a day with both of my jobs, and
Word.
the other day
He has a job because he's no fun. Guang.
The other day I had to work about 20 hours at my jobs, and I told them ahead of time, hey, I'm going to be really exhausted when I come out, and he put on a really good practice, and it got me motivated to keep working, and we had a great run the other day because of it.
That's what you get for not drinking. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
probably should be.
No, I told him
Maybe
to
if you
grab a
drink, it'll give you more
Monster.
energy.
Maybe.
Nah, I can't do Monsters or Red Bulls or anything without vodka. As sad as that is, if I drink an energy drink by itself, it just gives me the butterflies. It just gives me anxiety, but I don't want to move. Anyone else get that? You're like
Nope.
sluggish, but like your heart's still racing a mile a minute.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know, I usually just drink
your
water
heart's
and a
doing a
whole lot of
marathon. Your body's just
But you like don't
"Go
want to
for
do
it."
anything.
You're like,
You're just like,
"Go for it."
I have ADHD, so it's the opposite for me. I
Right, yeah.
take a drink, and I'm just like, I need to clean that right now. Let's go do it.
I add vodka to the mix though, and like the turns into that kind of like, oh yeah, I could hike up a mountain right now. No problem. I'll be right back.
Jeez.
Been wanting to clean my entire house in 5 minutes.
And vodka and Red Bull all day long. There you go. Don't need Adderall.
Well, it's kind of cool because what got me into
It'll mess
music,
you up.
and I started, pretty much in elementary school. I was in choir, and me and my friend who were really good friends were like, hey, let's start a metal band. So we did,
Which is what choir kids do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
All
And
choir
so,
kids.
Yeah, and so we came up with the name. It was pretty awesome.
How many years ago was this?
A long time ago. I mean, I'm in my 30s
When
now,
like
so.
Memories Never Die first started.
Well, Memories Never Die actually started in 01, which
Okay.
is pretty amazing. I mean,
That is sometime.
barely left my other band, and my mom's like, you know what? You need a break from America. Let's go to Paris. Let's go to London.
Oh
and
man,
see, yeah.
how come where'd you guys all get such cool parents?
I did have pretty cool parents.
Yeah.
I got stuck in
Well,
with Nicki
and also
Minaj.
I like to travel, so I think they're
The
grateful
Nicki
for me. I think they're grateful for me because I'm like, hey, let's go somewhere, and they're like, okay. But anyway, you know, I took my notebook with me because, you know, I would always come up with ideas.
Right.
And sometimes you have to write on the moment. You can't go, oh crap, I lost the train of thought.
Right.
And so, you know, my mom was like, well, why don't you call it Memories of the Fallen? And I'm like, thought about it.
What made her think she's like those are
She
just cool
Yeah,
words?
she just loved that saying.
Word.
And I
Mom
was like,
response.
yeah.
Maybe we should just ask her for like song name ideas.
No.
She's like a song name generator.
Yeah,
No,
some
she's-
people are
she's
just good at
actually
that.
really
Name
talented.
ideas if you want
yeah,
'em.
she's actually really talented. And so yeah, you know, I kind of thought about it, and then I wanted something, you know, a little simple, but also something to remember. And so as I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? How about Memories Never Die?
And something to remember is already
Yeah,
taken.
and also, yeah, exactly. I did remember.
Just
Ha ha.
saying. Pretty
But
sure.
anyway, yeah. But anyway, you know, I was like, okay. So I did my research. I got on, you know, social media, and I was actually going, starting law school because I wanted to get into law.
Yeah.
And so I went up to my professor, and I was like, hey, you know, there's a movie called Memories Never Die. Can I copyright something for, you know, music? He goes, yeah, go for it. So I worked my butt off and, you know, copyrighted it because I liked it so much.
Yeah, it's something
You know?
that, well, for one, it's good that you actually have, you know, a little bit more of the legal savviness, because that is kind of a name that you'd think might be taken already, and then lo and behold, of course, maybe not a band, but it's a movie. I was just telling you guys about the band, my Mormon band, Waters Rising. It's a movie too.
I actually was thinking about that. But yeah,
well, with
I
music,
mean,
it's pretty open. Like, I could name like 100 songs called The Chain. There's the
Wow.
band Jet.
Right.
oh, yeah.
Well, there's a
Like-
difference between a song name and a band name, right?
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I
still.
mean, there's tons of bands that probably share the same song titles.
How many songs
Right.
are titled "Save Me"? Like,
I know Muse
To
has
be honest
one.
with you, there's actually a lot. There's actually a lot of Save Me.
I bet
but-
Korn has one on like every album.
But
Oh,
anyway,
there's
I
with this
mean,
boom, fracka, baka, baka,
Save me.
yeah.
Save me.
But you know, and so when I came up with the name, you know, I wanted something to stick, and so you know, a lot of my friends were like, "Well, some people are, you know, are not that smart," and they're like, "All right, MND, all right, I get that," and then started sticking, and so you know, and then when we were recording the EP, the guy that was recording us, you know, a good friend of mine, Chris, he's like, "How about having a motto?" Because every time I think of Memories Never Die, like, you know, there's got to be a message behind it or something.
Right.
And so I was like, all right. So he's like, how about the memories are endless? And it kind of stuck with us because every time we do a show, we get really good feedback. They're like, hey, I remember when you did this show, or I remember you did this show. And it makes me feel good, you know, and they will experience it. I promise you that.
I actually experienced it on the other end. My
Yeah.
band before this, Desert Angel, we had a show and then our vocalist dropped and quit. And we had to find another band to cover, so Memories Never Die, the last iteration of it, stepped in. And while there are some things in the recordings I'm not fond of, they absolutely killed it live. Like, Jason
Word.
knows how to own a stage. Like, it bugs me when I go to a metal show in Salt Lake. I spent like $30 in gas to go see them, and everyone's just standing in place like it's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
This is coming from a Mormon too, guys. Get with the freaking program. Move. I so much agree. And there'd be like big bands, big names, and you go see them live. And I mean, it was $30 a ticket, and they're fucking statues. You know, the only band who gets away with that, in my opinion, is Opeth, because they tell you that before you go see them. They're like, don't go see us. We are fucking statues.
Well, when you're playing that many notes, you kind of have to be able to focus, and it's kind of hard if you're moving around.
I think Oasis had an
I
appeal
don't
where
know.
they would, just stand around and play their guitars because, they weren't out to impress anybody. They were just, normal guys.
Oasis has spent like full shows like not talking to each other with their backs turned to each other and barely playing any music though. So
Well, and that's why
because
one
I
of-
guess they hate each other or something.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
Makes no
Yeah,
sense.
it's terrible.
That's
I thought you were talking
insanity.
about Opeth.
No,
No, no, no.
Oasis.
Sorry,
we're
I didn't
we're
sleep
talking
over
about
last
all
night.
the O bands right now.
Okay.
OTEP, Opeth, Oasis, OB1, all of them.
Well, that's
Know
one
that.
thing I liked about Slipknot. Slipknot's
It's not an O
I,
band.
I know
All
that.
right, all right,
but,
we're moving on.
But moving
No
on.
more O bands.
No, moving on.
Fuck
One
'em
thing
all.
about stage presence is, Slipknot brings it. They'll talk to the crowd,
Half their band is there for stage presence.
but
pretty easy
and
when
it's
that's your
awesome
only job.
because
Right.
Yeah. But it's awesome because Corey Taylor, he definitely takes the reins and he'll get everyone going. And
Yeah.
you leave a Slipknot show and you're just like, wow, I'm ready to take on the day.
He doesn't need an instrument in his hands to still like take the whole fucking stage up, And then if you don't, whether you like Slipknot or not, that's a good front man,
yeah.
somebody who doesn't need an instrument in their hands and can still make their presence very much known and very much present.
Oh yeah.
Like, you could be the worst band in the world, but if you have a great stage presence, I think that makes up for it. Like,
I've
I
seen
like-
tons of examples.
I like Kiss, but there's better bands, but I want to see them because their live show is incredible.
Right. I'd go see Kiss. I do not like their music, but it's usually like I catch a lot of bands I don't care for or I didn't know for free or because they're opening for a band I was already going to go see. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We were just talking the other night with a friend of mine, Primus, one of my favorite bands. They were playing the Big Ass Show, X96's Big Ass Show. They used to headline that show almost every year when they first started doing it. So there was one year that had like Cake was the second headliner, and unfortunately, I stepped out of Cake because Primus and Cake were on two different stages, and I was not going to miss anything from Primus. So I left Cake like a couple of songs early, and apparently somebody hit the dude with a shoe, and they got off stage before they ended. Either way, Cake. Of course, all I knew was like their songs on the radio, like most
Yeah.
people. But they put on a hell of a show, and the band before them do not like Eve 6. Don't like Eve 6. Do not call me an Eve 6 fan at all. They just happen to be opening, and I stayed through the whole set. I was like, okay, let's see how these guys are. First song, I was like, that wasn't too bad. Next song, not too bad. Of course, they play their hit, the song on the radio. Swing it up inside like it emptied it out. Find nothing
Inside
but
Out.
faith in
Oh, yeah.
nothing. So that song, I had to sit through, but I still watched their whole set and was like, these guys put on a pretty good show. I think probably like my best example of that would be Dragon Force, though.
I love Dragon
yeah.
Force. I saw them earlier this year.
I don't
They
like.
were-
I'm not a
So
big
did I.
fan of
It
them,
was-
but
it was pretty
Jesus
awesome.
Christ, they put on a show. I mean, like, I've had other people say, dude, they just didn't have it that night. And I'm just like, man, when I saw them, they were on whatever this kid's on times 10. I mean, they were
I
seriously
listen
They're
playing
just all
tag.
bassists.
I love X96. I'm a big fan of that. I listen to them, Radio from Hell show. But one thing I do miss is the live and local stage. We actually were pretty honored before these guys, joined. We actually did the live and local, and we actually
Right.
played, the live and local. And as soon as I got off the stage, I actually had in the crowd the lead singer of 10 Years. And me and him started talking. He's like, dude, I love your songs. And, we just were barely starting out. So, of course, the perfectionist comes out on you and you're just like, hey, I got to perfect this. But, that's what's cool is, the feedback that you get when you writing songs is, what direction I want to go. And then people are like, hey, I really like this. So kind of stick to that direction. But, yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Let's get to another one here. A little more rock, a little less talk. This is Memories Never Die, KWJUDAS, Free Radio Provo. And we're also going to get into a word from our sponsor here, so stay tuned, folks.
That is right. They don't know. But you are going to show them. There is a fury within you. Set it free.
When the pressure comes setting in, fighting and giving, there is someone who is always beside me, giving me the strength inside, reviving me with the strength inside. They'll say get better with each passing day, but I go stronger every day, knowing that I'm on my way. I got the power inside of me. I can feel the power inside of me. I can feel it all around me. I can feel it now. Dust myself up and get up again. Set my mind to something that I know I can do. I can hold myself up. Hold myself up again. I'll keep on this till it's done. This war will be won. With the strength that fills me, determination that drives me, I will not fail this time. No, I won't suck on failure. Dust myself up and get up again. Set my mind to something that I know I can do. I can hold myself up. Hold myself up again. Dust myself up and get up again. Set my mind to something that I know I can do. I can hold myself up. Hold myself up again.
Hey, kids, what are you doing out so late? Don't you know?
Well, Durbansley guy, we're actually not kids at all. We're like in our 30s or something.
Yeah, thanks to Durbansley's new piss and vinegar dietary powder supplement, we're gonna live forever.
Oh, wait. Are you actually trying to sell me on a Durbansley product?
No, sir. You gave us like 15 crates of this bunk junk only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so we started using it, and like 53 hours later, here we are. It's like we're kids again.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. I don't suppose you'd have picked up any much mathematics skills while you were...
No need. Durbansley's new piss and vinegar dietary powdered supplement does it all.
Just snort, huff, or my favorite, boof it.
Whoa, ho, 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 kids. Isn't that a bit much?
Nah, everybody's doing it. Well, At least everybody in Quar.
I guess I always did kind of wonder where they got their juice.
Well, my friend, wonder no more. With grandmother's new piss and vinegar dietary powder supplement.
Wait, you were trying to sell me something, you bastards!
Hey, it's still brought to you by Derpishly.
And if it doesn't say derpin, it still isn't derpishly.
Hey, you're even stealing my line! What the...
You better go stand up and fight. Do anything to make this right. Running your mouth for falsified. Get ready to prove you wrong. That's right, we're gonna make it. Don't worry, we will take it. We are stronger than before, ready to break the floor. Giving it all we got. To be the last one standing. Yeah. Nothing to stopping us now. Nothing to stand in our way. We're going all the way. Let's go. We are stronger than before. Ready to break the floor. Giving it all we got. To be the last one standing. To be the last one standing. Yeah. We are stronger than before, ready to break the floor, giving it all we got. We are stronger than before, ready to break the floor, giving it all we got. To be the last one standing. To be the last one standing. Yeah.
Memories Never Die here on KWJUDAS, and that was Memories Never Die.
Fuck, I love that song.
I mean, I was saying
It's one of my favorites.
that because
Mine too.
memories really don't die here on KWJUDAS. And that's the name of the band that's playing tonight. Memories Never Die. Never mind. I'm totally over you.
Double feature.
Over your fucking heads there. So we are coming to the closing of our
Pretty much the climax.
the climax.
Let's
Oh, you
call
want
it
to talk about climaxes?
Yeah, climaxes.
We are reaching the climax of our escapade here. Before we go, what do you guys want to say to the kids?
Well, the one thing is we're actually really excited. We're actually going to be playing in Vegas at the Apocalypse Festival in the desert. So we're very excited for all those people that don't know who we are in Vegas. We're coming for you. So we're really excited to join you guys and rock out with you.
When's that happening?
Next year in March.
Oh, damn.
So
Is there a date on that yet?
actually there is. On the 25th. March 25th.
March 25th
Oh, yeah.
in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, we'll play a couple local shows before then as well.
Plan on it.
We're also
Yeah.
planning on re-recording 2 of the songs by the end of the year.
Cool.
If we can find a drummer by that point.
Right.
Which we will. We definitely
You're going to need a drummer to play in Vegas,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
No, we definitely will.
if
So.
you guys are looking for some like supporting local acts out there, if you're going to be doing some other, local underground shows, look up my buddy's band. Tell them that I sent you. They're called Excretory Engorgement.
definitely.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, we'll see if we can actually remember that to type it in.
Excretory engorgement. Excretory
Might be
engorgement.
doing it.
Excretory engorgement. Excretory engorgement. It's fucking hard.
So,
All right. So, where do kids find your music online?
well, you can definitely check us out on Bandcamp. You could also type in on Google if you want to be lazy, like sometimes I am, and you can
There you
type
go.
in Memories Never Die Band, and we'll pop up everywhere.
Memories Never
We're on
Die.
Apple
not
Music,
the
we're
movie.
on Amazon, we're on Spotify, we're on Tidal, we're on a couple other different platforms as well.
Basically every streaming service.
Exactly.
At least all the big ones.
Indeed. Well, without further ado, we are going to turn the time over to this not Backstreet Boys cover song. We had to clarify before we went
definitely
back
much
on
better.
air.
It's
I was like,
definitely
if
much better, I promise.
this is what I think it is, we're not going to fucking play it. But it's not, folks. It's not. It's okay. This is I Want It That Away.
I want it that way. No,
Tell me why.
I'm just being a douche. This song is called Larger Than Life, and if you'd care to explain, if there's any sort of a story or anything behind this that makes it less boy bandy, then by all means.
So, Larger Than Life is pretty much, a thank you song for everyone that's, stuck by us, from old fans that have been with us for the beginning and also new fans that we, recruit every year. So, it's a thank you to them, because without fans and without support, bands wouldn't be able to make more music. And that's
Yes,
why we
indeed.
wrote this song. So,
This one's for you guys out there, all you little people. This
all you
one's for
metalheads
you.
out there.
All you metal people. This one's for the metal people out there. Thank you and good night. KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo.
Woo!
When we are broken, you build us stronger. When we are down, you pick us up from the ground. With your
Jay of Memories Never Die. Goodbye, everyone.
We'd like to thank you all for joining us on another exciting episode of KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. We now turn you back to our regular free radio programming.